Pakistan is famous for two things: begging for money and sending terrorists abroad. India was telling the world that the Pakistanis were responsible. India was telling the US that the Pakistanis are responsible. It was the United States of America that was saying, no, actually, we'll try and talk to the Pakistanis, and obviously they have their own concerns. Over a period of 75 years, the Pakistanis have received more than $100 billion US from America. What does Pakistan have to do with Jews? There are no Jews in Pakistan, right? There are absolutely no, I think there are zero Jews in Pakistan. I mean, what would a Jew do in Pakistan? I don't know what they're teaching Pakistanis in school and college, but I have not seen any Pakistani being celebrated for being a scientist. I have not seen any Pakistani being celebrated for being a sportsperson. You see, the danger to America is both from the south and from the north. This is what I would like to tell the US government. You never know tomorrow. To raise money, Khalistanis could do something in the United States of America. You might stop 999, but one guy will get through. I think America should have a very serious conversation with the government of Canada. Jen friends, I'm Major Gaurav Arya and you're watching the Chanakya Dialogues English. Like this video, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. Pakistan is famous for two things: begging for money and sending terrorists abroad. Now, this is not the first time that Pakistanis have been caught trying to perpetrate acts of terror on foreign soil. They've been doing it to India for more than 40-50 years. In fact, many a time their army behaves like a bunch of terrorists. That is what they did in India in 1947-48. This is what they tried to do in 1965 when they sent people in civilian clothes armed with automatic weapons to cause mayhem inside India. It was Pakistan that was responsible for the 1993 Mumbai bomb blast and 26/11 and so many other hundreds of terror attacks all over India. And while India was telling the world that the Pakistanis were responsible, India was telling the US that the Pakistanis are responsible. It was the United States of America that was saying, no, actually, we'll try and talk to the Pakistanis, and obviously they have their own concerns. This was the time when America wanted Pakistani help in Afghanistan, ladies and gentlemen. They wanted Pakistani bases. They wanted Pakistani drone bases. They wanted Bin Qasim port in Karachi, where they could offload serious military gear, which were then taken by road and rail to Afghanistan. They wanted Pakistani help inside Afghanistan. Pakistan received more than $35 billion in this war against terror. And I'm not even counting the other help that the Americans gave them. Over a period of 75 years, the Pakistanis have received more than $100 billion from America. And this is not to say that American NGOs have not invested in Pakistan. This is not to say that American companies have not done work inside Pakistan. All this $100 billion is just government funding. That is an equivalent private funding of Pakistan that has happened. But what is in the news after that? How does Pakistan repay the United States of America? A 20-year-old Pakistani citizen residing in Canada has been arrested and charged by the US for planning a terror attack. Mohammad Shahzeb Khan, also known as Shahzeb Jadoon, planned a terror attack in New York City around October 7th anniversary of Hamas's attack on Israel with the goal, quote, the goal of slaughtering in the name of the Islamic State of Iraq and al-sham as many Jewish people as possible, unquote. Attorney General Merrick Garland said in a statement recently, according to the complaint filed in New York, Khan attempted to travel from Canada to New York City, where he intended to use automatic and semi-automatic weapons to carry out mass shooting in support of the ISIS at a Jewish center in Brooklyn, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, this is something that I fail to understand. What does Pakistan have to do with Jews? There are no Jews in Pakistan, right? There are absolutely no, I think there are zero Jews in Pakistan. I mean, what would a Jew do in Pakistan? This is like, saying that there is a fish that lives in outer space. It is incomprehensible to anybody with a sane mind. Any Jew in any Muslim country, especially in Pakistan, it is inconceivable, but here is a Pakistani man who is a resident of Canada, who's a citizen of Canada. He takes advantage of the border. He tries to cross over and he plans a mass shooting in which he says that this is going to rival 9/11. So take automatic weapons, take semi-automatic weapons, go to New York, which is supposed to be, a place where there are many Jews, and go to a certain place, open up, kill as many as you can take. That was the plan of this Pakistani. Now, I don't know what they're teaching Pakistanis in school and college, but I have not seen any Pakistani being celebrated for being a scientist. I've not seen any Pakistani being celebrated for being a sports person, except for one odd name, one odd in a population of around 240 million, one odd person. Otherwise, there are no Pakistani scientists, no IT czars, no big doctors, nothing. What actually, comes into the limelight is one Pakistani guy, 20 years of age, who says, I want to create another 9/11. What a shame. As per this complaint, it's also said that Khan used social media and messaging apps to communicate with other members through encrypted messaging apps. Khan also used these apps to distribute Islamic State propaganda videos and literature. However, the police have so far not revealed the names of the apps that he used. Khan confirmed that he and a US-based ISIS supporter, identified only as Associate 1 in the complaint, had been planning to carry out an attack in a particular US city, New York. Khan allegedly also discussed with them how to obtain AR-style rifles, ammunition, and other material needed for the attack. During these conversations with the undercover officers, Khan is reported to have emphasized that October 7th and October 11th are the best days for targeting Jews, stating the community will surely hold some protest demonstrations on the first anniversary, and October 11th is Yom Kippur, an important Jewish festival. Ladies and gentlemen, before I proceed further, I just want to tell you one thing here. This whole thing about wanting to target Jews. Time and again, a lot of people who do not know the history end up saying it is because of, quote unquote, the Israeli occupation of Palestine. It has nothing to do with this so-called occupation, because it's not an occupation at all. This is essentially Jewish hatred. And I would like to educate those who think it is not, who think it is some sort of a crazy freedom struggle that the Palestinians are undertaking. No, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a freedom struggle. This is terrorism. And this enmity goes back more than 1400 years. I don't want to say much more than that, but the fact of the matter is this hatred for Jews goes back more than 1400 years. And that is the truth of the matter. It has nothing to do with the modern state of Israel. The modern state of Israel and its wars are a modern spin on this dispute. But this goes back long back. After disrupting Khan's plan of mass killing the Jews, Director of the FBI, Christopher Wray, said that, quote, the FBI will continue to work closely with our partners to investigate and hold accountable those who seek to commit violence in the name of ISIS or other terrorist organizations. Fighting terrorism remains the FBI's top priority. Though police have not revealed the name of the app or apps, these apps are under scanner by certain law enforcement agencies in several nations, like the case of Telegram. Last month, French investigators detained Telegram CEO Pavel Durov at Le Bourget airport outside Paris. Durov was questioned for 4 days on the allegations that Telegram is used for child sexual abuse material, drug trafficking, and terror activities, and that the platform refused to share information or documents with investigators when required by law. No, you see, this entire thing about Shahzeb, a Pakistani national who takes Canadian nationality and then uses, the friendship between Canada and the US to cross the border. Now, if this man, think about this scenario, ladies and gentlemen, if this man, Mohammad Shahzeb Khan, if he was not such a loudmouth, okay, if he had just kept quiet, he'd taken the Canadian passport, if he had not discussed with anybody, especially with strangers, if he was a little bit smart, he's a Pakistani, so that's asking for a little too much, but assuming that he was smart and he said, okay, I'm going to do my work, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut. He takes the Canadian passport, he crosses the border, which is very easy, you can drive through, flash your passport, go inside America, stay inside America, form your network, carry out your terror strike. You see, the danger to America is both from the south and from the north. This is what I would like to tell the US government. So far, you think that the infiltration is only happening, or illegal immigration is only happening from the south. Now, illegal immigration brings with it, from the south, the illegal immigration, specifically from Mexico, it brings with it law and order issues, issues relating to the economy, crime, and such things. But infiltration from the north, that is from Canada, can bring terrorism. And this is one case in point. So apparently, ladies and gentlemen, as per law, the Canadian government cannot refuse anyone asylum in Canada if that person says that he's a political victim, or people are victimizing him and he's seeking political refuge in Canada or asylum in Canada. The Canadian government cannot say no. Apparently there is a law. I don't know much about this law, but this is what I'm given to believe, that there is a law like that. So tomorrow you can have a whole bunch of Al-Qaeda and Islamic State people, or people friendly to the Boko Haram, just coming into Canada and saying that, please, take us, help us. We are political victims. And they'll write some fake letter like these Khalistanis carry with them all the time. These Khalistani carry fake passports and fake papers and fake visas and fake whatever not, but they can't be thrown out because Canadian law prohibits throwing these guys out. And how easy it is for terrorists to come, seek asylum in Canada, stay there for 2 or 3 months, and one fine day just cross the border into the United States of America, because that is not a very closely guarded border. Because the Americans don't expect infiltration from the north. They're only expecting infiltration from the south. And the American government must understand that, you see, if so many Mexicans come, or so many other nationalities come through Mexico, law and order, yes. Drugs, yes. Pressure on the social services and your medical, infrastructure, yes, of course. But terrorism, maybe not. Terrorism will come from the north. You never know tomorrow. To raise money, Khalistanis could do something in the United States of America. The Pakistanis could do. Here is a Pakistani, by the way. Here is a Pakistani who tried to replicate a 9/11 by killing all the Jews that he could find in New York. And if he had just kept his mouth shut, been quiet about it and quietly gone, and not spoken to anybody whom he was not related to, or whom he did not know for 10, 15 years, or even 5, 7 years. If he did not speak to anybody like that, kept it to himself, he would not have got caught. Just think about it, how dangerous it is. And do you think he's the only one? Don't you think there are other radicals of the Islamic State or Al-Qaeda who are trying this? You might stop 999, but one guy will get through. I think America should have a very serious conversation with the government of Canada, because national security of the United States of America starts actually in Canada. And point number 3 that I would like to make here is that, the Americans are just exposing themselves by not talking to Canada about this. Canada allows everybody to come into Canada. And Canada's importance. So for people who genuinely want a better life and are seeking economic prosperity, Canada is a good place for them. Right? But what about those people who seek to do harm to the United States of America? Because geopolitically, Canada's importance is only because Canada neighbors the United States of America. Thank you very much for watching this video, ladies and gentlemen. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to press the bell icon. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram, Bharat Mata Ki Jai.